Okay, let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive today into something, well, pretty intense.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. It's about a series of public posts online from Justin Bieber.
Exactly. Our source here is an article from People magazine, published June 16th, 2025. It details some recent social media activity.
And our goal really is just to unpack what this specific report says, sticking strictly to the source.
Right. What does it tell us about, communication, handling struggles publicly, setting boundaries, based only on what people reported?
Let's look closely. What people reported is quite a snapshot. It starts around Sunday, June 15th.
Yeah, and mentions a really tense text conversation he apparently shared.
Shared publicly, right. Screenshots on Instagram.
With a friend, an unnamed friend. And according to the article, he was accusing this friend of, criticizing him while he was going through something tough.
Some kind of unspecified trauma is how the report puts it.
Right. And the language reported,
Yeah.
it gets pretty direct, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The article quotes him saying things like, I would never suppress my emotions for someone, and specifically connecting conflict to relationships.
He said, if you don't like my anger, you don't like me.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote from the People piece.
And he linked that anger directly to pain I have been through. Again, according to the report.
Yeah, and that line, asking a traumatized person not to be traumatized is simply mean. That really stood out in the article, framing his emotions as, a direct result of trauma.
It's a powerful frame. And then the article describes the friend's response.
What did the report say the friends said back?
Well, reportedly, the friends said they weren't used to being lashed out at. But, and this seems key, they did say they saw and felt his anger.
Ah, so the friend made a distinction. Anger versus lashing out.
Exactly. And that distinction, based on the People report, seems to have been the tipping point.
That's where it broke down.
Apparently so, very abruptly. The article says Bieber then shared another text saying, ouch, this friendship is officially over.
Wow. Just like that. Because of the phrase lashing out.
It seems that way, according to the report. He apparently wouldn't accept that wording for his anger. Said he had other friends who respected his boundaries.
And the language got even harsher after that, didn't it? Based on the report.
It did. People quotes him using a derogatory term, saying he thought the friend was that way before, gave them the benefit of the doubt, but this confirmed it.
And then a middle finger emoji told them to leave him alone.
And blocked them when the friend questioned the language used. So, yeah, a very private fight made very, very public, all seemingly triggered by how his emotional reaction was described.
It really highlights, how fast things can fall apart, especially with raw emotion and then putting it out there for everyone.
Definitely. But the article notes it didn't stop there. He shared more after that initial exchange.
Right. There was reportedly a video shaking his head, caption, "How I feel about us." Seemed connected.
And he put the text exchange itself on his stories too, apparently adding another message.
Yeah, a broader one aimed at, anyone asking about him.
Correct. That's where the tone shifted again, according to the report. He reportedly said things like, quit asking me if I'm okay. Quit asking me how I'm doing.
He felt it wasn't genuine concern.
He framed it quite strongly. Reportedly said, your concern doesn't come off as care, it's just oppressive weirdo. Told people not to project insecurities onto him.
Oppressive weirdo.
Yeah.
That's intense. So, from a specific conflict to pushing back against general public inquiry.
And the report also mentions him sharing other posts around that, a smiling photo with a middle finger, a post showing him smoking, just adding to the picture.
So this sequence is building. The conflict, the pushback against concern, and then, according to People, he came back the next day, Monday.
Yes, with more reflections.
Yeah.
Specifically about people giving him unsolicited advice, about healing.
That's the post where he reportedly wrote, "People keep telling me to heal." And questioned it, right.
Yeah, don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have already? A kind of raw admission.
He reportedly owned being broken and having anger issues.
Right. But what's interesting, as reported, is the exhaustion that came with it. He apparently said he'd tried his whole life to do the work, to be like the people telling him to fix himself.
But it just made him more tired and more angry. That's what the article says.
Yeah. A sense of, the effort itself backfiring, or at least being incredibly draining.
And he reportedly felt the more he tried to improve, the more self-focused he became.
Exactly. He reportedly said he was exhausted with thinking about myself lately, aren't you? Which is, quite candid.
It really complicates that narrative of constant self-improvement, doesn't it? The potential burnout from it.
It does. And he reportedly finished that thought by mentioning finding purpose outside himself through Jesus because the self-focus was tiring.
So adding another layer there, finding external meaning when the internal work feels overwhelming.
And the timing of all this, people notes it was around Father's Day.
Right. His first Father's Day, he and Haley welcomed their son Jack last August.
The report mentions gifts, a date night return, but also that Father's Day selfie caption.
Oh yeah, what was that again? I'm a dad that's not to be off with.
So you have that protective dad energy mixed with all this raw public processing of pain and frustration described in the article.
It really shows how complex these public personas can be, or at least how they're presented in moments like this, based on the report.
Absolutely. This People article maps out a very specific, very public moment of navigating some deep struggles, conflicts, and the pressure of public eyes, all playing out on social media.
So, okay, let's try and synthesize this.
Yeah.
We've walked through the People report, the text fight made public, the pushback on unsolicited advice, the raw words about feeling broken, having anger issues.
The exhaustion with self-help, and the context of his first Father's Day running through it all.
Right. It's a specific window, via this report, into one person's very public way of dealing with pain, setting boundaries, maybe lashing out. It makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Based purely on what we've discussed in this People report, the sequence of events, feeling traumatized, cutting off a friend aggressively, telling the public their concern feels oppressive, then admitting exhaustion from trying to fix himself. What did that specific reported sequence make you ponder about, well, vulnerability and communication today, especially when it's all happening out loud online?